The SONY a6000 has been released in 2014 and is still today one of the most popular aps-c cameras on the market. But is it worth to get the a6000 in 2021? In this video we're going to talk about the pros and cons of the SONY a6000, and at the end of this video I also want to give you my honest opinion on the a6000, if it's still worth in 2021. So yeah, I would say we get straight into it, and there's one thing I wanted to mention at the beginning. Last year I've actually done a video on the SONY a6000 and I was also talking about if it's worth to buy in 2020. And back then I actually got the a6000 a couple of months before, so today I have a bit more experience with the a6000, and this year I've done around 50 photo shoots already with this camera, so I have plenty of things to tell you today. And I would say we also start with the pros of this camera and why I think it's worth to buy in 2021. And the first pro, and definitely one of the best thing about the a6000, is that it's a 24 megapixel camera. You have 11 photos which you can do per second. You have an autofocus of 179. This is incredible for a camera in my opinion, which you can get for around $500. And another great thing about the a6000 is that it's a light and compact camera. So when you, for example, are traveling and when you, for example, doing photo shoots like I do, you can just take this camera with you everywhere, and it's so light and compact. I mean, it's only 344 grams, and this is amazing because, you know, you have so much power on this camera with 24 megapixels, like I said before, 11 photos per second, and a great autofocus. And this is something I like a lot about the a6000, and that's why I'm actually still using it, because, you know, the compact, ness of this camera is just amazing. But on the other side, there are a lot of things which are outdated now, because we are now in 2021. And there are also some things I dislike about this camera. And these things are, for example, so when you want to get this camera, the first thing is with the battery life. So as you can see here, these are the SONY a6000 batteries. And I mean, they're fine. I mean, they do their job, and when you get these, you definitely can do photos for a while, and of course video. But when you record like video for half an hour, these batteries drain so quickly. And also with the overheating from the SONY a6000, I have a lot of troubles, because when I record video like what I'm doing right now in my studio, after 20 minutes my camera is already overheating. So this is something I dislike a lot about the a6000. And another disappointment with the a6000 I just feel is that when you want to like record video, and I have to do it like externally with my recorder, it's very hard when you're like traveling, for example, to get good audio, because with the internal audio it's not the greatest. And I can also show you the audio could definitely be a bit better on the a6000. And I mean, you can get, for example, a microphone on top which you can put on your hot shoe, but I just feel like I rather have like an audio jack on the side and a flip-up screen. So this is something I highly, wish would be better with the a6000. And here guys, by the way, I have a solution also for the flip-up, so you can definitely just use one of these guys, and this works, but you have to, get it online and stuff. But this is definitely a great alternative if you are, for example, vlogging and it works. But still, I just wish, you have a flip-up screen, so when you're traveling you don't have to take this extra with you. So this is another thing I wanted to mention. And one of the most important things, guys, you have to know about the a6000 is that it doesn't shoot 4K. And for me personally, it's no problem, because everything I do so far on my YouTube channel is 1080p. And it's not too bad. I mean, you can do video and, you can post online and you will have no problem at all. I mean, this video is in 1080p with the SONY a6000 and it works. And my computer is fine. It doesn't, it doesn't drag too long, because I don't have I don't have the best computer. So for me, 1080p is definitely a good choice. But if you're, for example, into like commercial work, or when you, for example, have gigs, weddings where like clients want you to shoot 4K, you cannot do that with the a6000. And when I, for example, record video when I'm on a photo shoot with this camera, I do have also a lot of shaky footage. And this is because there's no in-body stabilization. So when you want to have like a camera with in-body stabilization, you will be definitely better off with the SONY a7 III or a6500, because these ones have in-body stabilization. So should you now buy the Sony a6000 in 2021? I mean, we talk now a lot about the pros and cons, and as you can see, both sides, are kind of to the same level. And in my honest opinion, guys, and I'm going to do real talk, I believe it depends really on what you want, guys, because if you're a beginner, in my opinion, this camera is great, really a great choice for you, because you can do a lot of photography. You have a 24 megapixels, you have 11 frames per second. So if you are into semi-professional sports photography or wildlife photography, this camera is great. I mean, you still have like 179 autofocus points, and I mean, of course, there are much greater cameras which have way more, like the a7 III or the a60-100 and beyond, but you don't really need that much. And I mean, I use this camera now and I had no problems so far with 179 autofocus points, and I believe this is great if you're a beginner and on a budget. So the a6000 is definitely a great choice for that. But if you guys are, for example, into video and where clients rely on you with really good, when they really expect you to have great quality, I would say it's better to go for, the a60-100, or if you can, go full frame, for example, with the a7 III, because there you have like 4K. With the a7 III, for example, you also have 2 SD card slots, and I honestly, I'm a bit scared to shoot, weddings with the a6000, because I only have 1 SD card slot, and when I, would do video, I would get a bit of shaky footage, and with the battery life, I mean, I have to like take so many batteries with me. So this is something you have to know about the a6000. It's great for beginners and definitely great if you are into like semi-professional work. But if you want to step up your game, and if you are really into, clients, who really expect much of you, I would think about getting the a6000 and think twice, because I would then rather go for a different camera, which, performs with the 4K and everything much better. So guys, I hope I helped you with this video, and I also hope my opinion was helpful. And if you still want to like see more content from the Sony a6000, you can definitely also check out Michelle's Photoshoot behind the scenes on the top left. And guys, what is your opinion on the Sony a6000? Would you still get it in 2021? Let me know in the comments down below. And guys, thank you so much again for watching. Take care of yourself and see you next time. Bye.